Imran is impossible. How has that happened? And he's not PMLN. Again, a PMLN big gun arbitrarily. How is he defeated? Now, if Imran was to defeat him, I would perhaps say that's perhaps acceptable. For a young one who you've never heard of, not even a political novice, but somebody who's been running the social media, BTI, how is it possible for him to beat somebody like arbitrarily? And again, I stress that I would be very happy if a young, tabdeeli chehra beat arbitrarily, but here that's not the case. So we've been compromising meritocracy individually, but of course the whole mandate as well. So anything that starts off incorrectly, unfairly, so the process is unjust at the moment. It's not democratic to hold a sham democracy. So I'm not even prepared to comment about what this man is going to do, because to get here, he must have made quite a lot of compromises.
Sorry, 1 minute. Sorry. You're in the frame. Would you very kindly... please,
oh, yeah, sorry.
So we can just continue and we can slice that out.
Yeah.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. I didn't mean to be rude. Please.
No problem.
Because the camera's on that side as
well. Oh,
yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. Yes. Right. You know, on his opening speech, there has been a good deal of controversy. A lot of people in India see that this bit on foreign policy had the stamp of the military on it. The prioritizing for a start was on with China, then open borders with Afghanistan, a grand Islamic alliance in the West where Pakistan is at the heart of it, and then India in rather acidic language. Do you also see the stamp of the military on that speech?
Well, I can honestly say, Sanjay, that it's only you and I who see it like that, because everyone's been raving about it. And I think there's something very seductive about power as well. And as soon as somebody comes into power, everybody starts appeasing. And I think with the fascist background and the fascist sort of track record, not only of Imran personally, but also of those who are backing him, I think people are perhaps best advised to be careful. I mean, when it came to the book, people say PMLN sponsored it, but I can tell you that those people who will be now Imran is going to go after them, for example, Najm Sethi and the likes, I can tell you that nobody was willing to even remotely be seen as connected to me. And why? Because they fear the wrath of the Khan as well as those who are backing him, and rightly so. So that is the extent of fascism. So in the speech, are you surprised? Here you go. When I say that there is the stamp on the elections and on the selection of this Prime Minister, this is why the speech has come pre-prepared, of course it has the stamp, it mentioned it on the boxes, that were required of him. And a lot of people have been saying that, it was actually a conciliatory tone towards India. I didn't see it as that. I saw it as, be nice to me. I saw it as that, simply put. And I think it was because there has been a lot of course, concern in India, and rightly so also, because just before the elections, the Balla Ghumao Bharat Bhagao campaign, and also this sort of accusation on Indian media of being too harsh on him, that didn't go amiss.
Yeah, the Bollywood villain, where did that come from?
The Bollywood villain. I mean, that was almost adorable, and I think that's just because he perhaps also feels like a personal sort of drive for help, because I think, of course, Indian media has been covering my book as well. Indian media has been giving me a slot, and I don't think that's gone down well with Mr. Khan, and I don't think that's gone down well with, I've had the raw stamp now, the one that we were awaiting. That's the one stamp that was missing from my quite prolific agency career, so now we have that also. I think he doesn't like it because he wants the fans to continue to love him in India. You see, it cannot work both ways. People are rightly hurt because when you use the blasphemy card, when you go bashing India, when you go on the military establishment lines, then people are not too impressed in India. This is not about his cricketing career or his glamorous private life. This is about the decisions he's taken, and people are rightly nervous about it.
But I do remember before one World Cup final, he said that, well, if not Pakistan, he would like India to win. Well, it was perhaps not the final, but in the run-up to the World Cup, if not Pakistan, he would like India to win, because just think how many people it would make happy. There was another question where I was present actually, where India was playing England and India was not doing too well at all, and he was a little displeased with that. He would really have liked India to do better. So certainly there has been in the man some sort of warm feelings to India in the past. Do you think that has been smothered now by the military?
You see, this is again, Sanjay, this is a very intelligent question, because a lot of people see him as sort of, they have an image of him and they don't understand that to get to power, and to get to power in a landslide fashion, I mean, just short of a majority, in places that, for example, in Balochistan, nobody has heard of PTI. This was my personal plea, and a plea in the book as well. I repeatedly say this. Visit Balochistan, show your face there. And NA 260 to be given to PTI, I mean, no party. The Pakistan People's Party, the PMLN, of course the PTI as well, have been missing in Balochistan. And I've been equally critical of all of them. And they were missing in 2013, they've been missing in the last 5 years, they've been missing in 2018.
It doesn't have enough votes, does it?
Well, it doesn't, of course. It doesn't get you to power. And now, of course, it is pretty much the King's Party there also. So I have explained in the book why even things that he loves, things that he's associated with and adores, nothing is more important than the PM seat. And he is willing to sacrifice, indeed he has sacrificed a lot of things for it, and be it wives or personal lives or friends, cousins, even other family members, he has sacrificed for this
Sacrifice
prize.
lives in what sense?
Sacrifice lives as in sacrifice associations with people. So I meant, like, for example, his own sister's family life has been disrupted because of a decision. Of course, our life is, we didn't have a personal rift at all. We didn't have, and I have stressed this in the book, it was a very loving relationship from what I was given the impression, but there was ideological rifts. I'm anti-corruption, I'm anti-status quo. I voted for the leader and then gave him my personal vote because I believed in him, and he let us down. He let us down, those who had ideological belief that this man is going to lead us to change. But look at what the change is. I mean, look at this.
Is this the change, this announcement of simplicity, no living in the Prime Minister's palatial bungalow, that rest houses will be turned to hotels to raise money for the poor? It sounds a bit romantic, but I mean, is there some thinking behind this, economic thinking behind this?
Well, that's the thing in the book as well. I tell you about why, people say, well, why did you marry the man? Why did you vote for him? It's because, I mean, he is known for being charming, and he's a fast bowler, and he knows how to bowl you out. And as a bowler, he knows that his main focus in life as a sportsman is to bowl you out. Now, whether he's to stump you or to run you out, he has tunnel vision. And so for becoming the Prime Minister, he has to say the right things, and very much like the playboy he is, he does charm you with beautiful rhetoric. He charmed us back in 2013. I remember interviewing him as a journalist for the first time, and I put this question to him, that you have famously said this. So this doctor from the US says, will you turn the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister's house into a library? And he promised me then that yes, on camera, he said yes, absolutely, and the grounds are going to be for women and women. He painted this romantic image, and we imagined Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where women could walk freely and they would not be disturbed. We've seen an increase in domestic violence. Have we seen a women's protection bill in
But people surely remember these things and they hold you to it?
They don't. I'm afraid they don't. And I think people who are sincere to you, friends or wives or spouses or indeed intimate partners, they remember. And they remember because, you see, the biggest loss, I think, has been, and people have said, why didn't you write the book earlier, is because Imran has been our hope. It's a country with very little hope. It's a country where we get a lot of criticism. And you and I have heard these labels, and as an overseas Pakistani, it hurts us when Bollywood actresses call us a failed state. It hurts. It upsets us. And then Imran is this hope. We all had hope. And then I saw from a very close encounter that there was no hope actually. And it's not a personal loss, it's a loss for the nation. For many years, for a couple of years, I didn't want to take that hope away from people. But when I was completely convinced that this is the way forward and he's going to become the Prime Minister, I was sure that he would be the chosen candidate. I did hope that sense would prevail, but clearly it didn't. So, I mean, the reason I say that is because I have hopes and aspirations for Pakistan, and I don't think that Imran is the right person, because someone who is acting on someone else's script, like I said...
Why are you lying? Why are you lying these things?
Excuse me.
Why are you lying?
Excuse me.
No, she's just lying.
This is a conversation between
I
us.
know, but
very kindly.
I mean,
We will have a discussion later. If you will kindly If you will kindly
Her
allow
book
me,
is flop.
let's have a chat. She's talking to me.
I
You
just
have your
can't
views.
bear this. Like she's saying all the
Ma'am,
Pakistani are
ma'am, you have your
just
views.
yeah.
You have your views.
Yeah, but I want to ask you a few questions if you
Ma'am,
want.
can
Yeah,
we
please.
complete our
Yeah,
conversation?
please. Yeah, well,
If you kindly
Okay.
give us a few minutes, ma'am.
I can't bear this.
No, but then you could take a walk and
Yeah,
come back.
yeah. No, I want to listen what she's saying.
Then please don't interrupt.
Okay.
It's not right.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't believe this.
Okay.
She's so jealous.
Okay, excuse me, ma'am.
Okay.
Please, we do need to be a little civil about this. Please, this is a request to you.
Yeah.
Let's
And
have
I
a
think that should be
conversation.
the next question also.
Yes. Now, sorry, where were we? Okay. Now we are talking about Imran Khan and the military. Do you see Imran Khan now as the charismatic poster boy of the military?
Well, I mean, charisma, of course, and I'll remind you what the question was basically, I do think that if
So if we
Imran
have
is
to
going
do that again.
Yeah.
So if you, the question.
The question was about the Prime Minister House.
Let's get to that
Yeah,
first.
so-
Yeah, so we're talking about the simplicity or the announced simplicity of living and raising money for the poor through letting out rest houses and raising money to pay for the poor. Now, is this simple romantic transfer really possible?
Well, I mean, I think to be honest, I think that might be the only thing that he is allowed to do. He might be allowed only this much authority to convert the Prime Minister House into a library. Other than that, authority on the Foreign Office, I think it's unlikely for him to get that, and I think that is why I say he's the ideal puppet, because to get here, he has compromised a lot. And this is what I fear. It's not about Imran, it's putting anyone who is going to do your bidding. And much of the civil-military tension in the last 5 years has been because Nawaz Sharif and the likes have tried to assert their power as parliamentarians. And that is not on, that is not allowed. That has not been allowed for 70 years. We have had a very checkered history when it comes to democracy, and this time why there's been blatant I suppose fascism as well as blatant rigging is because I think the military establishment wanted to show who the boss was. If you've not learned your lesson yet, they wanted you to learn the lesson. Coming back to the Prime Minister House, so here are the facts. Did he convert the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister House into a library? No. Were there any women's parks made in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? No. Is there a women's protection bill in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? No. Has there been a rise in domestic violence, crime against women in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? Yes.
And
Has
these
there
were all
been a-
promises.
These were all promises, and I was inside in the house pleading because that's what I do for my life. That's my mission. Was there an increase in sexual abuse against boys within the last 5 years? Yes. 5% increase in the first few months
So it's not
of
a great
2015.
it's not a great track record in KP.
Yes, and this is factual and this is information. Let's come back to when he talks about minorities' rights. So if you're saying suddenly after being elected in your prime ministerial speech that you will look after minorities, what have you done for minorities in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? You have given 557 million rupees to Madrasa Haqqaniya. At the same time, in the same month, you have shut down 42 schools in Kohistan. 39 of them are girls' schools. I am now building a school there because the people there tell me we want to educate our girls. So let's look at the facts. And these are the facts that are in the book. I talk about what they did with PEDO, the energy division. Why is Mr. Asad Umar investing his time and energy in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa without producing any electricity? This small powerhouse, I mean, all of this, these are all factual evidence in the book.
And he has won this vote despite that track record. So clearly a lot of people who have voted honestly, and you have raised some questions about that, have ignored that track record or been in ignorance of it. But he has been picked up for the job, clearly. Would you see him as a charismatic poster boy of the military?
I think that's all he will be. Charismatic he's always been. I think he says speeches which enthrall the youth. I'm not entirely happy about that role model because once again, so you see he talks about India and he talks about minorities in a soft tone, but shall we remind Mr. Khan that just before the elections he used the blasphemy card. His selection for the Chief Minister of Punjab is a lady, Dr. Yasmin Rashid, an educated gynecologist, and I'm shocked at the poster that she has been using in NA 120 with her face on it and Mr. Imran's face on it. And these posters are encouraging hate crime, hate politics, and asking questioning the execution of Mumtaz Qadri, using the blasphemy card. And again, it's not even whether they believe in it or not. They're doing it for politics. They're doing it because this will pick up the right-wing vote. And I see that as a huge problem. Minorities in Pakistan, the Christian communities and Hindu communities, are one of the most poorest in our country. And the language that has been used by his chief minister in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has been derogatory. I'm sorry, I see a Pakistan where minorities are not only restricted to sweeping our streets. I see what we have seen in Sindh today. Mr. Mahesh has just been elected on a general seat. I have worked with this gentleman in Tharparkar. He was on a minority seat. He has been elected on a general seat, and that's what we want. I don't want the minorities label on someone who doesn't have Islam as the faith. That's the sort of Pakistan we want. I'm sorry, but you cannot. This is hypocritical to suggest that I will be looking after the minorities. You also suggested about cronyism and about people and sort of, austerity measures. Well, if he is going to make it the state of Medina, can I just ask him to read a history book for a change? And can I remind him that Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha and Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha would give away all of their wealth. That is better than the Marxist model. That is the state of Medina. Could we ask Jahangir Khan Tareen to donate all of his wealth? Did he do it in the last 5 years? Did Mr. Asad Umar do it? Did Mr. Shah Mahmud Qureshi do it? So you really have to walk the talk. And I'm sorry, but somebody has to call out this hypocrisy. And now they buy this advertising slogan that Mr. Khan sells because he's charismatic. They follow his outfits, they follow the way he speaks, they copy his hairstyle. And they follow the abusive trend of not being able to listen to genuine criticism and voices of dissent. What is that? That is fascism.
Well, perhaps someone else will say that is leadership. But speaking about
There have been fascist
policy,
leaders in
yes,
history.
yes, you do. Speaking about India again, finally for a bit, and terrorism is of great concern to India. And of course, in India, it is a belief that some agencies of the state in Pakistan are behind that.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It's India is behind the terrorism. That's India is behind the terrorism.
Please have your
Stop
say later.
lying. No, why
Please
say
have your
later?
say. I'm
Why
asking
say
you a
later?
question.
India is behind the terrorism in Balochistan,
I'm
in
asking
Karachi,
you a
and
question,
everywhere.
ma'am.
And
Ma'am,
she's
why don't you take a
frustrated
walk?
lady
Why are you being-
because her book is flopped.
Why are you being
She's and
disruptive?
she can't be the first lady in the
Why
Prime
are
Minister
you
house.
being disruptive,
Yeah.
ma'am? Please take a walk. This is very unfair. This
And
is very rude.
nobody bothered about her
Ma'am,
interview in Pakistan
ma'am,
except
ma'am,
she's in
this is
India,
very rude.
except in
You are-
Indian media.
You are intruding
to
into a
have-
private
I
Oh,
conversation,
come!
ma'am.
This is not private. That's your TV channel, isn't it? So they
That's
can't be
between
private.
You and me, you are not
Let's-
invited
no.
on the TV channel. So
I'm
please,
sure
No, I'm not going on a TV channel.
so please, can you?
I'm just.
Can you just
She
give
just.
us a few more
Go on
minutes?
the internet.
You have
Oh,
your
I
views.
am as well.
Ma'am?
I know that.
Ma'am?
So.
You're disrupting an interview. You're being
Ma'am,
disruptive.
excuse me,
And you don't know how to
ma'am,
control
you-
yourself.
Oh,
Please have
do you
your
know
say.
that? You're swearing at me.
No, ma'am.
Yes, you did. When I first time I said she's a fucking something like that.
Excuse me. No one has said that.
He swear at me.
Excuse me.
Darling, listen to me, sweetheart. I'm
Give
sure
us
you
a
have
few
a
minutes
family to look
to
after,
complete our
and
conversation,
I don't
then
think
you have
you've
your
read
say.
the book, and I don't think you've
Oh
read
my!
my
Nobody can read this book. This book is flop. This is just a
ma'am,
pornographic
why are you
book.
frustrated?
This is flop book. That's why you're frustrated.
Why don't you go on
That's why you're frustrated.
Excuse me.
Because nobody giving you ghas, giving you. That's the saying. No. That's why you're only going to the Indian media because Pakistani not giving you ghas.
Excuse me. Can we have this conversation in a little while?
Ask.
Give us 2 minutes and we'll have this
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay.
Can you please let me ask my question?
Ask.
Since you are listening in,
Are you asking for
excuse
security
me.
to come to and move me away from here?
I am, because
Okay.
you're disrupting
Ma'am,
the gentleman
please,
has another
Okay.
show to go to.
please,
This is why.
give us a few minutes.
I'm not doing any
asking a
harm to you.
question- I'm asking a question
You're
from a certain
disrupting,
point
and
of
I
view.
think we all
She can
have-
respond to that.
We
Please.
all have deadlines and
Yeah,
work time.
yeah,
He has
yeah.
to have another program.
Yep.
Yeah,
So if
please.
you don't disrupt the gentleman's time,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he's a guest.
Yeah, thank you.
No, you're a guest.
Now, there is a view, of course, in India that Pakistani agencies, state agencies are behind terrorist acts. We saw 26/11 Mumbai, and that became an issue in Pakistan. Nawaz Sharif made a statement about that, and Imran Khan criticized him for making that statement. Would that be an indication that he will not take a tough line against terrorism and sponsorship of terrorism?
Well, again, I think first of all we have to sort of dissect the speech that he made. So he was being praised for the speech, and I remember the speech and the soft stance that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif at the time, the Prime Minister made, and we were part of the media criticizing him for his soft touch. We were criticizing him for being too mild on India, and also calling him Modi ka yaar. And these were things that were fed to us via the propaganda machinery, and we were part of that. We were criticizing him for the most favored nation status that he really wanted to give. We were criticizing him for attending the oath-taking ceremony. Imran and his mouthpieces on television were criticizing him for having an interest in trade with India because he's a businessman. Now, I saw the speech and Mr. Khan made exactly the same points. So why is it okay for Mr. Imran to make those points that the former Prime Minister was making? As far as militancy is concerned and whether he will support it or not, again, if I will refer back to my comment that if he is on a script already, we can expect more of the same. So when people put you in power, and in Mr. Imran's own words, he said Nawaz Sharif is a protege of the establishment. And so in his words, Mr. Imran is saying that nobody can come into power without being backed by the establishment. So if we take that theory, that means that Mr. Imran is also in power because of being backed by the establishment. And if Mr. Nawaz Sharif, with a popular mandate, 3 times the Prime Minister, felt that now he could assert the power and could not assert his views, he couldn't assign a foreign minister in all his time, and was criticized for that because that is the domain that is not going to be given to the executive. So I don't think that Imran will have that sort of footing, or anyone, unless we have democracy, unless we have a strong parliament. We are not going to have that. The Foreign Office is always going to be kept away. It is always going to be within the military establishment's domain, and that is the main fear. I think it's not about Imran's personality and what he would want to do. As you said, he might want India to win. He has friends in India. In fact, he's had a lot of liaisons, friendly and romantic, still continues to. But will he have a say in India? But will he have...
He continues to have romantic liaisons in India?
I think fond memories is probably what we should say. Of course, I've not been with him for the last 3 years, so that wouldn't be factual. But what I meant was that you can have a
frustrated
lady.
lady.
You have to compromise those ideals. As I've pointed out many a time, that he is a liberal in his private life. He is a very liberal person in terms of religion in his private life. But then he goes and stands by extremist people through the campaign. Why? Because even the liberal left, even Pakistan People's Party, the liberal left, does bow down to the right-wing extremists. And we have seen an effort to mainstream militancy into the parliament. We have seen people be very afraid to talk against these things. For example, someone who is not part of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is a young individual who could have been the face of change, Imran Nasir. Why could Mr. Imran not offer him a candidacy from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or even offer him backing in Karachi? Why did he not choose to do that? And Imran Nasir, without any backing from the establishment or from a foreign lobby or from an internal lobby or a rich friend, gets 5,000 votes in the current elections, and he is the face of change. He has the ability and the guts to stand up when it is Lal Masjid or the rights of minorities, and very strongly so. He doesn't cower down to pressure when people say mix religion with politics, and he says, I'm not going to do that. I don't care whether you vote for me or not. I think Mr. Imran could have shown that strength. Bilal Bhutto could have shown that strength. Zardari could have shown that strength. The PM-led could have shown that strength. But this PM, I think, has already compromised so much. And my main fear for the next few months and for the next year is this. Why are we looking at this sort of softening stance towards many issues? Is this the suggestion that there are compromises to be made in terms of legislation that is going to be now pushed through the parliament? And this is the main concern. It's not Imran. It's what is going to happen via Imran through the parliament. Will it be handing over more powers in terms of the Foreign Office? That's what I'm concerned about. Will it be giving away the Afghan policy? Will it be giving away more rights on the CPEC? What will it be like? And that is what we should be concerned about. India is concerned about militancy in Pakistan, but let me tell you that peace is in our interest, and of course peace is in the interest of our neighbors also. So before India worries about militancy and terrorism, I think Pakistani powers that be have to really focus on the militancy, the hate politics that we're using for very short-term gains. And this is going to come and bite us back, because the dragons, the monsters that we've made, it's going to be very difficult to put them back in the box. I'm a child from the Zia era, and we're seeing these residual politics and the same laws that Zia left. And those are the things that are still damaging our society and damaging how we do politics and obviously the managed democracy that we're seeing.
Finally, Ms. Khan, your own political future? Do you have one? Are you looking for one?
There's no
in
future.
Pakistan?
There's no future for her.
Well,
Excuse me, please. This is my last question. I ask your
There's no-
indulgence. One more minute, ma'am.
That's why she's giving only
please,
interview to Indian
please,
media. There's no
please,
future for her.
Please, okay, please. I'm requesting you 1 minute, please. Please. Finally, Ms. Khan, are you looking for a political future in Pakistan?
well, I mean, political future, I have
Like
already
Gibran Nasir.
stressed in the past also, and I have put this in the book as well, that the first offer that came was actually from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's chairman before we got married. He offered me in front of his party to join the party, and I reminded him that I was a British national and could not do so. Then I was considered for Senate, and I was given these messages. When I refused those as well, they offered me the media wing. And the reason I don't do politics in Pakistan initially was because I'm a British national and I'm not legally allowed to contest in politics. And recently, in the last 5 years, what I've seen in Pakistan, and more recently, what we've seen, I mean, if this is going to be the sort of democracy, I didn't vote this time. And I didn't vote because I knew that my vote wouldn't be counted. I have been offered by parties across the board, even the PTI ideologicals, who really think that there should be leadership, and the lack of leadership. I must stress that the vacuum of leadership, because we do say that Imran is behaving like a puppet, but are the others doing any differently? I mean, there's not. There hasn't been any. Everybody is doing compromised politics. And this is not democracy. Survival is not democracy. Surviving to get your little share. Are we seeing any sort of protest over the stolen mandate? So really, honestly, when I saw the behavior and when I saw the appeasement and the conciliatory policy of all the parties, it did occur to me, and a lot of people were saying, I think you need to jump on the plane and go back and do your bit. But the problem again is, look at the people who are sitting in the parliament. I mean, some of the youngsters have been calling me, and some of the emails that I have, they're literally in tears because they're asking me, how did this young candidate win? And what is the criteria? What is the merit for these people? Some of the voices that are coming out from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, inside Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, they're saying that merit has been bypassed. I've been with Imran for 17 years, and I've been bypassed by this young model or by this young female. Why? And I do not have an answer. Well, I have an answer, but this is despondency. So Reham Khan also thinks like that. How can I sit with these people? I can't sit with these people. You have to be a career politician. You have to sign on the dotted line. And if there's going to be a different kind of politics, where actually there is more candid discussion, if we have somebody like, for example, the CM of Delhi, he's the chief minister, but that hasn't stopped him from being a social activist. So that's the sort of social activism in politics that we need in Pakistan, and I'm sorry, I don't see that anywhere. I mean, I would have liked to see Shahbaz Sharif take on the protest head on, and we didn't see that. So when they say vote for Izzat though, but are they actually respecting the vote of the voters? Are they respecting what people did, standing outside in the heat for ages? And I don't see that. So when I see that, when I see fairness in politics, I might be able to compromise. Or I've already sacrificed quite a lot. So when I see that, then perhaps there will be, but I think the time is not yet.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Khan, for talking to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you a few questions, please?
No, my apologies. We should have been in the studio.
You were hiding here, wasn't
My
you?
fault that we couldn't manage.
I know you found this place through in a corner that nobody can see you. That was the plan, wasn't
We
it?
came here just to see you.
No, yeah. Can I ask you a question then? Hello, Reham Khan. Can I ask you a question? Are you going to join Gulai party?
You are-
Aisha Gulai party.
I wanted to,
Ma'am.
darling.
And how frustrated you are to, First Lady? Are you jealous from Bushra baby?
You can talk to me or you can talk with me.
I'm asking
Are you
question.
Pashtun?
No.
Oh, you're not Pashtun. Okay. Aisha Gulale.
Are you
as a
joining her party?
No, I'm not, because I don't know the lady. and
But
I've
that's
never- I've not met
your
her.
mentality is like her, isn't it?
Darling, that's not my mentality. You're a young lady. I hope that you have children. I hope that you're married. And what I would advise you is that before you start hating people,
Not hating. Did I say something? I'm just
Yes.
asking question.
No, you're not
I'm just
asking
asking.
questions.
I'm
There's
just
a
asking question.
let's
I'm just asking. Why are you looking at me like that? Like you're gonna kill me?
Conversation, because he's my son and you're being rude to his mother.
No.
And he's seen
I'm just
people-
asking question.
he has seen
This is
people-
just a question.
Yes, I answered
Are
the
you
question.
jealous
You
from
said-
the Bushra baby? She's the
No,
first
I'm not.
lady.
You want to try rephrasing
Are you okay? Are you jealous that nobody interviewing in Pakistan? What they don't have?
Bushra Bibi
Are you okay?
Can I
Okay.
answer the question
Nobody.
for you? Can I
Yeah,
answer the
yeah,
question
yeah,
for you?
yeah.
I'm going to answer all your
Okay.
questions. Bushra Bibi is Imran's wife now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that she is his wife.
Why are you mocking about her hijab?
I'm asking.
Why are you mocking about her hijab? The way she
Shall I
does.
answer one question? Shall
Yeah.
I answer one question, then answer
Yeah,
the second one?
yeah.
Because I can answer all your questions.
Okay, it was short.
I don't
No,
want
it's
to
not
be-
speech. Just show us quick
I'm
and
gonna
short.
answer back. I'm very happy not to stand with a man that I do not respect. So I do not want to be, the first lady is not that important, because what is most important is you are answerable only to Allah.
Exactly,
Not to you.
exactly.
And I cannot be. So Islam says that you be with someone who you believe in and who you're true to.
So
And
why
I could
you did not
respect
ask
this
for
man.
divorce when you know everything is going wrong? He gave you divorce, not she. You didn't ask for divorce.
I would suggest
The
that
day
you
you,
read-
the day,
Have
the
you read
day
the
you
book?
found out.
Have you read the book?
Oh, nobody can read this book. That's a
can't read the
flop.
book?
No, nobody can read this book.
Well, what I will do is
No,
that I
no,
will
no,
send
no,
you
no,
a
no.
free copy. You read the
No,
book
no, no,
and you
no.
find out what happened. You will read the book. I
I'll-
cannot be with a man. I cannot be with a man.
Jemima can't spend
I cannot-
years with
I
her,
cannot
with
be with a
him,
man.
Imran Khan,
Yeah.
and she never done this.
I cannot be
She
with a
knows
man.
better than
I
you,
cannot
and you
be-
only stayed with him
I
9
cannot
months,
be with
and
a
you know
man.
about
I
everything.
cannot be with a man who has a wife in his house and is sleeping with other women, and I have that evidence.
Why you
Imran
didn't?
knows
Why
it
you
very
didn't
well.
ask for divorce then?
That's what I did, darling.
No,
I
they didn't.
left.
He
Yes,
gave
I
you
did.
divorce.
That's what
He
you
gave you divorce.
Allah
You
ko
no, no,
khush
no,
rakhe,
no.
Allah
Yeah,
ko
yeah, yeah.
hidayat.
You look jealous to me. Yeah, yeah.
Sanjay,
And why you were chosen this place, corner? No, like nobody can see you. Maybe you thought nobody can see you. Let's choose the
Allah
place.
aapko hidayat de
So,
beta.
but maybe
Allah
that's
aapko hidayat de.
yeah, exactly.
Allah aapko hidayat
Maybe
de.
Allah sent me
Allah
here.
aapko
Maybe
khush
Allah
rakhe.
sent me here.
Maybe.
Isn't
Allah
it?
aapko khush rakhe.
Because
Allah
you
aapko
thought
khush rakhe,
in the
bache.
corner, look in the
Allah
corner in the park,
aapko khush
you
rakhe.
chose this place
Allah aapko
like
khush
nobody
rakhe.
can see,
Allah aapko
and you're
khush
giving
rakhe.
Indian media
Allah aapko khush rakhe,
talking.
bache. Allah aapko hidayat
You're
de.
just talking
Allah aapko
crap
hidayat
about
de.
Pakistan.
Beta,
You are
Allah aapko
disrespecting your
hidayat
country,
de.
and
Allah
whenever
aapko-
you want, you become
Allah
British,
aapko-
and whenever when you want to
Allah
talk
aapko
against
kabhi-
Pakistan, then you
Allah
become
aapko
Pakistani.
खुशबख्त करे, नेक बख्त
इंशाल्लाह
करे।
आमीन इस
अल्लाह
मगरिब
आमीन।
टाइम
अल्लाह
एंड
करे।
अल्लाह करे आप
अल्लाह करे।
सच बोलें
अल्लाह
अल्लाह
करे।
करे कि आप
अल्लाह
सच
करे।
बोलें
मैं
जेलसी छोड़ दें
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
अल्लाह करे कि आप सच बोलें और ये इमरान खान का पीछा छोड़ दें
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
आपका चैप्टर इज क्लोज्ड
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बच्चे।
योर चैप्टर इज क्लोज्ड या
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
Why are you here?
yeah I live here I come every day here
Right,
yeah
okay.
So do
yeah
I.
Do you
I
own
have-
this place?
Sahib,
do you
Sahib,
do you do you
But for your information, if Allah sent you, He could have sent someone more intelligent. So
well that's Allah's choice isn't it that's not your choice is it
Sanjay, I was going to say that a pattern of craft.
And why you hypocrite when you with everywhere you are without dupatta and as you're in front of the camera you start taking dupatta on? Why would you do that? It's not hypocrisy, is it?
She didn't understand about Pakistan and stuff like that.
I'll get back into it.
You know, who's the lady name there?
आगे पीछे दुपट्टा लेना नहीं कैमरे के आगे दुपट्टा ले लो आगे फौरन and I think you know that India is creating terrorism in
Sanjay, I'll just
Pakistan
send you the
and you
number
don't, you
and the
can't
name
say
of the
that you don't have guts to say that do you
Goa, but she's on the main CNN one. Okay, so I gave her the documentary thing as well.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Thank you so much.
you know
I'm
India is
sorry.
creating terrorism in Pakistan in
My
Balochistan
apologies about having to speak under these conditions.
It's
My
okay.
apologies.
I'm used to it. Gee, I'm used to it. I'm
she's a
used to it.
celebrity she can manage flop celebrity do you want to say something you want to swear at me again little boy she's hiding here in Kingston upon Thames in the park and she thought nobody can see her or maybe Allah sent me isn't it she can only give interview to Indian media that's it because Pakistani media doesn't give her gas